Brad Pitt has been one of the most talked about actors in the world for decades, not just because of his movies, but also because of his personal life. His love life has always attracted public attention. From red carpet romances to shocking breakups, people have followed every twist and turn. But after staying quiet for so long, Brad finally decided to speak out about his past with Jennifer Aniston. What he revealed surprised many fans and reignited conversations that had quieted down years ago. His past relationships, especially with Jennifer Aniston and Angelina Jolie, still remain a big part of his story. What really happened behind the scenes? Why did it all fall apart? And is there still something left between Brad and Jennifer, even after all this time? Before Brad became one of Hollywood's biggest stars, his early relationships were short and sometimes controversial. In the late 80s and early 90s, Brad was just starting to make a name for himself. He dated Robin Givens and Jill Schoelen, both of whom he met while working on different projects. But one relationship that stood out from that time was with Juliette Lewis. Brad was 27 and Juliette was just 17 when they got together. That relationship definitely caught the public's eye, mostly because of their age difference. But like many young romances in Hollywood, it didn't last. Everything changed in 1994 when Brad met Gwyneth Paltrow on the set of the movie C7N. Brad was completely taken with her. He later admitted that he could barely speak around her because he liked her so much. Gwyneth eventually felt the same way, and the two became one of the hottest couples in Hollywood. They looked perfect together. They attended events hand in hand and gave people that fairy tale couple image everyone loves. In 1996, while filming a movie in Argentina, Brad proposed. Gwyneth came back to the U.S. wearing a ring, and Brad even introduced her to his parents at a family dinner at Red Lobster. He was serious. He once said he believed in marriage being a one-time thing. But even with all the love and excitement, things didn't work out. Their engagement ended quietly, and Brad moved on with his life. Soon after, Brad's love life took another big turn when he was introduced to Jennifer Aniston. Their managers thought they would get along and set them up. Both Brad and Jennifer were coming out of other relationships at the time. Jennifer was already becoming famous because of Friends, and Brad was a household name. They met, and something just clicked. Jennifer later said their first date felt very easy and fun. They kept things private at first, but it didn't take long for the media to catch on. By the time they walked the red carpet together at the 1999 Emmy Awards, they were Hollywood's favorite new couple. When Jennifer showed off her engagement ring at a Sting concert, fans were thrilled. Brad had spent months helping design the ring, showing just how much he cared. Their wedding in July 2000 was big, beautiful, and full of love. They promised to be there for each other, even joking about milkshakes and thermostat settings during their vows. From the outside, they looked like the perfect match. Brad even made a guest appearance on Friends, which became one of the most talked about episodes. They worked together on a production company, Plan B Entertainment, and seemed unstoppable. But even fairy tales have cracks. Jennifer started to talk about wanting to slow down and have kids. She gave interviews saying she was ready for motherhood. Brad was busy with work too, but they seemed to be managing. Still, Jennifer mentioned that they weren't perfect and that disagreements were part of any real marriage. She called Brad a big love and someone who grounded her. Things seemed mostly fine, but there were signs that not everything was perfect. In early 2005, everything came crashing down. After spending New Year's with friends in the Caribbean, Brad and Jennifer announced their separation. They released a statement saying it wasn't because of cheating or scandal. They just decided to go their separate ways after 7 years together. But the world didn't take it lightly. Fans were heartbroken. Their divorce was finalized that same year, and Jennifer requested to change her name back. It was the end of an era. Almost right away, people started talking about Brad's connection with Angelina Jolie. They had starred together in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and rumors were everywhere. Both denied anything happened while filming, but when Photos came out showing them together on a beach in Kenya with Angelina's son Maddox. The story changed. Suddenly, Brangelina was born. Brad was seen adopting children with Angelina, and their family grew fast. They posed for a magazine photo shoot that looked like a picture-perfect family life, and the media went wild. Still, Brad and Jennifer both said that Brad's new relationship didn't cause the divorce. They wanted people to know it was more complicated than that. Brad's life with Angelina seemed full of excitement and purpose. They traveled, worked on humanitarian projects, and became a global power couple. By the end of 2005, Brad and Jennifer were no longer connected, even professionally. Brad took over their production company, and Jennifer stepped away. Angelina then announced she was pregnant with Brad's child, which confirmed that they were now officially a couple. Years later, Brad finally talked about his past with Jennifer in an interview. He said they were still close in their own way and had shared a strong bond. He explained that relationships are complicated and don't always make sense like business deals do. At the time, he was focused on the present and trying to live with meaning. On the other hand, Jennifer chose therapy and self-care. She talked about how the breakup affected her and how she was working on herself. She didn't seem bitter, just honest about what she had gone through. Then came a moment that stirred everything up again. Brad gave another interview and said, "Something that people took the wrong way." He talked about how, during his marriage to Jennifer, he wasn't living an interesting life and felt stuck. Many fans saw that as him blaming Jennifer, and the backlash was intense. Brad later said his words were misunderstood. He made it clear that Jennifer was a loving, funny, and kind person. He never meant to insult her. He just meant he had lost himself and was unhappy with who he had become. Even so, some fans never forgot what he said. His relationship with Angelina continued to grow. Brad said he felt fulfilled and happy building a family with her. He admitted that loving someone deeply comes with the risk of losing them, but he thought it was worth it. After 7 years together, Brad and Angelina got engaged and then married in France in 2014. Their wedding was private, and their kids were a big part of it. It looked like everything was finally perfect, but that didn't last either. In 2016, just 2 years after getting married, Angelina filed for divorce. She also cited irreconcilable differences, the same reason Jennifer had given over a decade earlier. Fans were shocked again. How could such a strong and beautiful relationship end so suddenly? It left people asking questions about whether Brad ever truly moved on, or if he still carried pieces of his past with him. After both divorces, Brad became more reflective. He opened up about therapy, his struggles with alcohol, and how he was trying to be a better person and father. Jennifer continued to thrive in her career and stayed graceful in the spotlight. Every time they crossed paths, at award shows or backstage, fans noticed the warmth between them. A simple smile or hug between the two would spark headlines and speculation. Were they just friends, or was there still something more? Even though so many years have passed, people still talk about Brad and Jennifer. Maybe it's because their story felt real. They laughed together, cried together, and lived through massive fame side by side. And maybe part of that connection never really went away. Brad's comments about Jennifer always include kindness and respect, and Jennifer has always handled everything with class, even when the media made it difficult. Their story isn't just about love and breakups. It's about how people change, how life doesn't always go the way we plan, and how sometimes the person who meant the world to you can still be important, even if they're no longer by your side. Whether or not Brad and Jennifer ever reconnect on a deeper level, one thing is clear. Their love story has left a lasting impression, and people will always be curious about what might have been. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more, surprising facts and behind-the-scenes truths about your favorite celebrities, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think really happened between Brad and Jennifer? Do you think they still care for each other? Let us know below.